Hey, Tim Sykes here with another video lesson. I have to apologize for sounding so bad. I know that I'm stuffy. I actually have 101-degree fever right now as I'm doing this. I'll probably be coughing and blowing my nose throughout this video lesson, so I apologize. But there's just so many stocks in play, and so many of you are asking questions. I feel selfish if I don't at least try and explain everything that's going on here because I want you guys better prepared. I can't ensure that you're definitely going to be my next millionaire students, but I can at least try to prepare you every single day for the best plays. It's been a kind of crazy few days for me. I'm now back in Miami, too much traveling, no more time zones. That's why I'm sick, and I'm so excited to just rest for a little bit. I don't know if you saw, I got my new Lamborghini delivered. Just an awesome, awesome car, and it's nice with my red Ferrari and my blue Lamborghini, and I'm like the white guy in the middle, so it's red, white, and blue, baby. I love it. But I post this stuff to inspire you because you guys can have these kinds of cars too. If cars don't motivate you, you can start your own charity. You could, whatever, spend money on your family, on yourself, start anything you want once you have money. Money is freedom. And sometimes I even just post money itself. But I like posting these cars and I like driving them. So I hope it inspires you. You need to study harder. So many of you guys, I'm looking at the data of these video lessons and DVDs, and you're just not watching them. I see many of you guys just buying whatever is hot right at the market open, and I'm telling you that is not a recipe for success. It might work every now and then, especially in this bull market, but in the long term, you're going to need rules, you're going to need strategy, you're going to need discipline. So I want you guys making enough money where you have an extra 6 figures to blow on a car. It adds up. Okay, I know many of you guys with small accounts don't even believe me, but it does add up. This year, I started with just a $12,000 account, okay, and I'm up nearly $150,000. Granted, I wasn't fully prepared in January. I was trading with a bigger account, so I think I made like 20 or 30 grand. I don't know. I'm up, the 12,000 has roughly grown into like 105, 107,000, but that's possible. That's year one. If you start with 12,000, next year I'm starting with 5,000. And if you look at my trades, I'm not really betting that big. PIR, I'm risking like 15,000. This one didn't do that great. My dip buy, my first buy at 8.10 this morning was really good. It actually went up $1 a share. I underestimated that a little bit, but again, I'm kind of messed up in the head. I actually took a midday nap, so I was just out of it. And BPMX was my overnight trade where I made nearly 1,000. I've been on a little bit of a winning streak. Maybe not health-wise, but in stock trading-wise, I try not to look at streaks, but I'm human, and I've been doing pretty well. I haven't been, like, oh my God, I have to protect this perfect streak of all wins. Something just goes well, lately for me. ONVO, we got the nice overnight news the other day. It actually spiked again today. I'll go over that in a second. IDXG, I got a little lucky here. I was shorting it, and because I had a whole accountant meeting the next morning, I didn't hold overnight, where I specifically wanted to hold short overnight. But I covered, I made like 10%, and I couldn't do it right at the market open the next day, so I took profits. And overnight, they came out with a press release that spiked the stock, and they've done that a few times now. So sometimes having a busy life is not the end all. A lot of you guys think, oh, I have a job, I have school. Well, guys, I'm trading for freaking Laos on crappy Wi-Fi. Now I'm back in Miami, sick as shit. Still made 2 grand today, roughly. Life gets in the way, but you can either make excuses or you can say, okay, there's life and then there's trading, and you try and make it work. MPAT was a beautiful short the other day, shorting into the morning spike. It has failed that morning spike several times. Let me just bring that up real quick, because it's freaking beautiful. Right here it spiked from the 5s, and the high was like 730, and then we got another spike right here to 720. I mean, this is a perfect double top, and I got short here at 710, and I covered too soon, but it came down $1 a share. I made like 50 or 60 cents a share, or 70 cents a share. God, this is going to be rough. AKO long, I mean, this was a small profit, but I nailed the buy in the 7s. Remember, I'm trading with a small account. I know a lot of people don't get it. Like, Literally nobody else in the world trades with such a small account when they can trade with a large account. And people think like, oh, he's a fraud, he has no money. Like if he believes in himself, why doesn't he trade big like everybody else? I believe in myself enough so that I can trade small. I don't have to hide behind millions of dollars and, put in like a $300,000 position and make like 5 or 10 grand and say, oh, look how good trading is. And you make your 1-2% like a lot of people I know. Guess what? I'm trading with a small account specifically to help you learn how to grow a small account. My 12,000, now 105,000 this year. E-Trade, which actually I think was on like a 60 or 90-day restriction. I started the year with 2 grand, and I really didn't even trade it that much, and that's already up to nearly 7 grand now by year end. So next year I'll be trading a 5 grand account and a $1 million account. So you'll see both. You'll see me go big. Sometimes you'll see me, bet small. This was one I definitely could have bet bigger on. Especially lately, I've been having success with these $7, $8 a share stocks. I don't know why, but it's something to take note of. NVCN, I nailed the dip buy here in the 190s. A lot of people thought that I was like crazy, like, why are you buying the stock? It's up so much. But it fit the number 5 pattern from my penny stocking framework DVD. I stuck with it. I actually bought it twice. It didn't even move anywhere. So I actually lowered my average a little bit, like 30 minutes later. And then we got a pop. And it's been popping, for like a week now since this dip buy. So respect the number 5 pattern for my penny stocking framework DVD. EMKR was my earnings winner play from a few days ago. And you can see here they reported earnings. And, I was buying it in here in the low 8s. And it just keeps going. This one, though, is annoying because it's under the 5-cent spread rule, which is kind of like this test that they're testing out on a few hundred stocks, and I just absolutely hate it. It's so tough to trade. So even though I made a few hundred on EMKR holding it overnight, that was tough. This one, shorting NVCN, I mean, this was the perfect, morning panic. Oh, wait, this was an accidental trade. I found out that I had shorted it. That was funny. The next trade on NVCN was the perfect morning panic. Hold on. SGY, I had a decent short. This actually probably should have been a loss, but, I just covered and I'll take whatever executions I get. I'm not worried whether I make or lose $50. I'm just trying to get out because I was going for a morning panic. It didn't happen. But this one was a good morning panic shorting NVCN. I was doing some live trading last week with some students, and we all saw this one right near the market open. E-Trade had shares to short. So I nailed that. But let me talk about you guys for a second. I mean, so many of you students are really getting it. I'm proud of you. Eric, so far, I have so many students to go through. But I was looking at Eric, and he was in CBIO pre-market at 87 cents. This was on my watch list last night, out at $1.38 for a $2,000 profit before going to work. And he shows the screenshot. So this is why it's important to read my watch list every single night. And I'm working on my watch list tonight, but, after hours yesterday, they announced the good news. It spiked from 50 cents up to $1.30. And it was in here in the 70s and 80s. And the whole question was, could it get back to the highs, which it actually did. And, Eric took the meat of the move, buying it in the 80s, right in here pre-market and selling it right near the top. He actually got the exact top. So even though, sorry, hold on one second. This is the beauty of trading. Yeah, right? I don't want to do this video lesson at all. I don't want to trade at all, but I feel guilty missing these opportunities. And I know that, you guys need these recaps and guidance because, trading without rules and trading without mentors is scary. Trust me. I did it for far too long. But CBIO, finished a little down off of its highs. I mean, it was still up 80% on the day. But a lot of people will say, oh, this was never a buy. Not true. If you're buying it pre-market and you learn how to sell right into the morning spike, that's fine. Okay? It doesn't matter what it closes at. It doesn't have to spike all day. You just need that one initial spike. And sometimes, pre-market doesn't tell the story. Here's Pier 1, which was probably one of my best calls today. And it spiked on earnings yesterday, from the sixes, and it was in here in the 780s. Pre-market, it got up to like 820, and then it was downtrending until the market opened here, in the 780s. But it used this pre-market after hours high as support now, and then once it broke the 820s, it was gone. And I was expecting a breakout, so I actually got executed a little early here at 810 because it moved so quickly near the morning. So it's not always easy to get an exact breakout. You have to just kind of sense it. I could have been buying into a double top, but with the earnings and with the most importantly the multi-month breakout here, right above the highs here at 770, and if you go back more, there was resistance right here at 820-ish. So I thought that it was going to break, 820 and 815, 820, this resistance, and I was dead on right. And we got a big morning spike in here, only to like the 850s, 840s here at first. So I took profits, then I went to go take a nap. Trading when you're sick is tough. I don't recommend it, but at the same time, I'm not your normal trader. I'm trading with a small account, not for the money. I'm trading in order to teach you patterns. And I know that I'm going to make videos whether they go right or wrong afterwards. But this was a classic morning spike. So you have to watch the pre-market highs. Don't necessarily get discouraged by pre-market price action. It's on so little volume. And as you see with Pier 1, it absolutely did not matter at all. But know where the multi-month resistance is. And it was right at 820. So when it's spiking so quickly and there's huge volume, it looks like it's going to blow through it. And guess what? It does. 820 all the way up to 920. It hit 920. It got up to like 915. So you have like $1 a share. And you can take profits along the way anywhere in here. As you see, I like to take profits carefully, especially when I'm trading sick. And then there was some great dip buying in here. I got my latest dip buy right in here in the 840s, because now 840 is going to act as support. 843, 840-ish acted as support in the morning, and then pretty much in the afternoon too. So dip buying a play that has already broken out to the nines with a multi-month breakout on earnings, and you're buying it with support here at 840-ish. So if it drops below 840 and goes down to 830, you cut your losses, you lose 10 cents. But best case, it goes back to 860, 870, 880, 890, maybe even 9. Day two of the earnings. Day two of the earnings, what might happen is in reaction to earnings, guess what? It means that the analysts might upgrade it. A few analysts upgraded it immediately when the market opened, but some analysts take their time. So on day two, after an earnings event, sometimes you get overnight upgrades. So right now I'm long this, just like 2,000 shares at 843. So I'm up like 10, 15 cents. What I care about more than the money is the plan here, okay? I'm dip buying an earnings winner that is held support so far, multi-month support with a breakout, with a potential for analysts. I mean, this is a gimme overnight situation. You guys need to see the different indicators. This is straight out of my trader checklist guide. And I would love to be selling this anywhere tomorrow in the high eights. Not just for money, but also just so I can go back to sleep tomorrow. I could have gone into DRYS, which is squeezing too. This was probably the biggest spiker of the past few years. And I see a lot of shorts in like other chat rooms wanting to short this on day one. They're like, oh, it's worthless, the financing. Guys, you're shorting the single most successful penny stock in the world on day one, and it's finishing higher. I mean, people were shorting it all in here, like in the threes and the fours. I saw all over social media. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, I know I'm sick, but what kind of fucking idiots, what kind of people with death wishes short a low float stock that's hanging around near its highs on day one of a move where, just a few weeks ago, this stock spiked to 100. These people literally believe that this company is worthless, that anybody buying it is an idiot. And these short sellers are so twisted in their mindset, and it's just pathetic to watch. I mean, they lose nearly $1 a share into the close, and I saw some of them not giving up. They're like, the higher the better. I'm just going to short more and more. how did that work out last time, guys? I know several people who nearly went broke because the stock just kept going. And you're just I don't understand it. I know there are gunslingers in trading, especially short selling, but this is a buy pattern, okay? When it takes out the day high here at 476, I'm very proud of several students in my chat room who have learned to go both long and short. You don't just have to go short. It doesn't matter if this company is eventually worthless. It's got the momentum. It's got massive volume. It's day one of the move. And I know a lot of people who are buying 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 shares here in the low or the high fours and selling it in the low fives. And some people are holding it overnight. I really do not understand some of you short sellers. You seem to like putting stress on yourself. You seem to like losing money or, potentially losing a lot in order to potentially make a little. Like your risk reward, and it's just so fucked up. It's crazy. And I'm sick as shit right now, and I can still see when, something is pretty clear. This is not a short selling pattern. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing go to the sixes or even the sevens tomorrow. Maybe eventually it'll come down. Maybe it'll fail, but you gotta go with the chart, okay? Oh my God. Like, some of you guys are just beyond help. Anyways, here's Eric. There's so many. George, Kobe, Vice Rock, Gotham, Sal, Clayton. I can't even get through all of these. Like, look at this. This is just Robert, Lika, Jay Smith, Ryan, Trade Formula. Look, there's more. EJST, Adam, Oren, Kevin, Street Addict, Quincy, Hamish. There's more. Steven, Mark, Malcolm, Van Ryan, Jesse. I mean, this is just from the past 3 days because I haven't been caught up on tweets. And I'm not even going to get to all of them. Jake, Mike, Harrison, Orlando. I mean, just look at this Word document that I have here. And I just spent the past 2 hours just going over the past, tweets from the past 3 days. And then what some people were saying in the chat room, just literally in the past few days. And it's pretty amazing. I mean, look at this guy. I love this. I bolded this because I wanted to bring it up. Flipping Stalker, he actually had to hold AKO overnight because he's under the pattern day trader rule. And he bought it at $7.55, sold it at $13.22, made $5,600, and he says the best chat room in the planet. And I thank you, Flipping Stalker, and I congratulate you. And some of you guys ask me, why do I think the pattern day trader rule is good? What I see more and more after talking with a lot of you is over trading. You're trying to trade in and out all the time, and you're not focusing on the best plays. OPGN was a big spiker the other day. This is a great trade. In at 240, out at 290, making $200. But sometimes holding overnight works really well. So that's why you want to take good trades. You want to buy earnings winners overnight. You want to buy hot supernovas on day one, whether it's AKO or DRYS, because there's good odds that they're going to spike on day two. Initially, I hated the pattern day trader rule, but now after nearly a decade of teaching, I've talked to so many of you, I really think it's good. And it forces you to choose the best trades. And if, you're unsure, then don't take the trade. And sometimes you're going to miss out on the trade, but most of the time, it's good to trade less than you think you need to. And holding overnight, this pattern works very well with AKO. And some people were saying, Tim, why are you congratulating students? You only made, 50 cents on AKO. Because I'm only myself, okay? I have one very safe strategy of taking profits. I go in with a plan, I take the profits, and I move on. And that's how I grow my 12,000, into 100,000 this year. And I'll probably do 5,000 into 50,000 next year. But you can be more aggressive. There's no one right way. Again, early on in my career, I was very focused on teaching one specific strategy. I was like, you must do this, you must do this. And now, because I see everybody has success with different patterns and different personalities and different strategies, it's okay. But I will take credit in being first to buy an alert AKO out of anybody. It seems that most people thought that, the news wasn't that significant. So I do take credit for putting it on your radar. And that's what you should use chat rooms for. That's what you should use social media for. Put stocks on your radar and then use your own strengths and weaknesses and your own personality to see what the best play is. And that's all I can try and say. I'm going to take credit for, basically bringing up AKO to everybody and saying, look at this stock in the mid sevens. This has upside. And AKO, even though I did not hold it because my personality is not one of patience, I was buying it right in here when it held these kind of pre-market lows in the 730s. And we got a nice spike, and, it's held up. And I don't know why some of you guys just want to short anything. I know that there's like these twisted short sellers going around where they think that everything is junk and that everything is worthless, but don't listen to those guys. Seriously, you got to understand we're in a bull market. I mean, do the short sellers even realize this, or are they totally inept? I mean, we're hitting new highs in the stock market, like multi-year, multi-decade highs. Like, why do you want to short right now? It just makes no sense. And, I was a short seller for predominantly many years, but now I've kind of seen the light and I go long and I go short. And I really only want to short like blatant pump and dumps. We also have a blatant pump right now, MJPI, if you want to short, if you want to find stocks to short. I mean, look at this, 40 cents to $3 in a few days. This is going to make for a great short soon. AIOM was a great short. I couldn't find any shares to short, but look at this pump. I mean, it's just going up gradually. All in one day it comes down, and now it's spiking. And guess what? This is a potential reshort, okay? This is a potential short into this bounce. This is a classic number 6 from my penny stocking framework DVD. MJPI, I mean, this is a classic number 3. You have to understand the rules and the patterns of the past so that you're better prepared for the future. There's all these people, too, that think that you shouldn't study, that studying is ridiculous. They mock my DVDs. I don't understand how you mock education. What are you, like the worst person in the world? Mock so much other shit that's bad in this world. Education, studying the past, is not one of them. I know that it sounds corny to say, I'll teach you to make money with my DVDs. I understand my industry is mostly full of scammers, but I'm different. Okay, that's why I'm making fucking video lessons when I have a fever, and I probably shouldn't. But I have to get this information out because I feel guilty, and I just hate looking through my chat room archives and seeing people who are confused. They don't know the rules. There's, some people are like, should I short ESEA? Why are you shorting ESEA? I see that other chat rooms are shorting it, in here, and it spikes from 160 to 2, and I see all these people on social media that are non-profitly, and they're like, oh, short it. This is a great morning spike from 140 to 2. It's going to come back down to 140. Like, what the fuck are you smoking? Like, it just makes no sense. Sure, it could come down, but the risk-reward is absolutely staggeringly bad. Never ever short a morning spike here at 2 when it's done this much, and it's a low-float shipping company. Guess what? It goes all the way up to nearly 3 in the next hour. So, yeah, if you're shorting it at 2, yeah, maybe it'll come down to 180, 170. You can make 20, 30 cents. But you're risking losing 50% in an hour. It boggles my mind. And DRYS, too. I mean, this is a classic uptrending chart. Maybe the fundamentals will eventually catch up to it, but not today. Not on this day. So go with the trend. The trend is your friend. And all of you guys who want to be short sellers, be fucking careful. Because a lot of these short sellers who just like shorting into anything, they are already rich. And they're just adding to their positions. And most of the time they're okay. But even if they lose $30,000 or $50,000, they're still all right. 99.9% of you guys watching this will not be. So you cannot partake in a strategy where it's just, let me just add to my shorts on the way up. You need to recognize that most of you have a small account. And the good news is you don't have to be scared to short. You can come to the actually good side right now where it's really working pretty much every day, and you don't have to risk losing 50% on your money. You can make 50% on your money. You look for those early morning spikes. You buy those breakouts over the morning spikes. Look at this. This was a perfect morning breakout here in the 4s, and I got to give props to Tim Bowen. Tim Bowen, who is now giving several live webinars per day to Stocks to Trade people, which is pretty sweet. Stocks to Trade Pro. Email admin@timothysykes.com if you're interested in getting some live webinars from Tim Bowen. And just in the title, write Stocks to Trade Pro. But he was saying this was a potential buy, when it was over 4. Where was it? I tweeted him somewhere. I have way too many tweets. Stocks to trade. And this is the beautiful thing about my team. It's not just me anymore. We have several people. Superman nailed OPGM the other day at like 120, I think his buy alert was pre-market, and nearly hit 3. This is Tim Bowen, by the way. In case you don't know Tim Bowen, he's been, trading with me. Excuse me. Oh, fuck. He's been trading for like nearly a decade now, just making like 50 grand roughly per year trading part-time. And now he's the lead trainer on Stocks to Trade Pro, and he's giving these live streams, and he does Q&As. And this was his thing with DRYS, and he gave this to STT Pro people, and he said, use extreme caution, but news, big loan, $4 over under with extreme caution, small size. We'll consider a rebreak of $4 with risk on support at 380. So what he's talking about is he's looking at this as a potential buy, and this is on Stocks to Trade. Obviously the breakout attempt could fail here at 4-ish, and it could come down. But again, when you're playing these, you specifically plan your risk. With PIR, I'm buying for the morning breakout, trying to make 30 to 50 cents a share. If it had failed to break 820, I would have gotten out. Okay, look at PIR, right? If somehow it had failed right here at 820 and came down to like 815, 810, 805, 8, I'm out. Because now the multi-month breakout is failing. But this one succeeded, so it was never really in doubt. But with, plays like this with Tim Bowen saying, you have to watch this key level here at 4. You can see this was resistance back here, and then there was support here at 380. So if you're buying it at 394, 405, 410, you use this 380 as support. So you might lose 10, 15, 20 cents a share, but you might catch the breakout. And as you see, I don't think it ever touched 4 again. It was off to the races once it broke out here past 4. And, some of you guys like using these trailing stop losses. Let's say you buy 1,000 shares here on the breakout at 410. At no point during the day would your trailing stop loss have gotten taken out. And if you buy 1,000 shares here at 410 and you sell it anywhere here in 460, you're making 500 because it's choppy. But if you have patience, as some of you guys have learned, and it's here at 550, you're up $1,300. Let's do some math here for a second. $1,300 divided by, you're risking like 4,100. So you can make 30% on your money in a day just by simply buying this low float runner on the morning breakout. And this is, Tim Bowen was a short seller primarily in the past few years, but he's adapted to patterns that work. And he gives these, awesome little webinars to STT Pro people. So again, if you're interested in that, email admin@timothysykes.com and put your email or put STT Pro in the subject line, and we'll get you in with Tim Bowen, and you can learn how to trade part-time too. But I want you to start seeing that there are multiple opportunities here, long and short, and you don't have to be 100% short / aka suicidal right now on DRYS on day one. I'm sure this will make for a good short, but I don't think yet. I don't know how far it'll go up. And PIR is this earnings winner, with this perfect, absolutely perfect breakout over the 760s and perfect breakout here over 820. So as long as that support holds, I think this could test 10 pretty shortly. Just no different than EMKR, which had a nice breakout here in the 840s and broke out for several days. And AKAO, which had a nice breakout right in here in the 7s. Guess what? Why do you think I was buying AKAO? I was looking at this former high, and I was thinking, okay, this could break the former high here in the mid-7s. That's what I'm looking for. So look back at the past. Look at the catalyst. Look for high of the day breakouts. That's it, guys. I gotta get some sleep, but I'm glad I lasted 30 minutes. I didn't even think that I could do this video lesson, but this is how passionate I am. You know, I don't encourage you trading while you're sick, but the stock market doesn't close, and the plays right now are plentiful, so take advantage of them. I'll see you guys in the chat room tomorrow. Congratulations, Tim Bowen, on DRYS, and all you STT Pro people who nailed that. Congratulations the other day to Superman, who nailed OPGN and all of his subscribers. You know, you got to learn from these successful traders. We're here to help you, and it's really fulfilling for us to try and, you know, get you understanding the game, because too many people don't. Thank you.